Hi guys, how are we doing? Hope you're all doing well. I'm a bit out of sorts today. It was a bit of a rush job, so I've been sat here like a plum without having my start screen on. So hello, you've just been watching me stare at my screen randomly for the last 2 minutes or however long it is, but welcome along. We are checking out some brand new content in RaceRoom today, so super excited about that. Some new stuff that's just dropped nicely into our lap. So we're checking out the Opel Astra TCR, which is a new car for RaceRoom, and we're also going to be checking out a new track, which I'm going to say pronounced like Vålerbanen. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but it's a new track anyway, and it's exciting to check it out. So we'll jump into that for sure. So looking forward to seeing how these cars go. So let's jump into the game itself, and here we are. So got all our different classes of car listed up on here, and the TCR actually sits in the TC Cup category of cars. So that's where it. So need to push I there. That's where we're going to be going in here. So this has got the Hyundai i30 Lada Vesta, which is an ex-WTCC car, and then now the new Opel Astra. So let's jump into here and see what liveries we have available. So we have some Opel specific liveries here. We have a nice green one, this H&R one, which is quite nice, kind of a bit of a nice chrome effect on that. So we've got some nice looking liveries to choose from, a couple of pages worth of things. So presumably we've got some VLN inspired liveries on here as well. I think a lot of these cars run in that particular series around the Nordschleife, so that's probably why we've got some of those. But we're going to jump in this H&R car because it's quite a nice looking livery. So it's just we're just in a practice session here, so we're just going to select all Astras for the time being, and we will we'll go out and try the new Vålerbanen circuit. Now this one has only got one layout. It is literally just the one, but it's quite a fun track. We've driven this track before in other sims. I think it was Race07 where it was originally out. It had I think some of the add-on packs for Race07 is what featured that particular circuit. I think people who race in Wreckfest might also recognise the circuit as well. I think it features in there. We'll try not to do too much crashing, if I'm being honest. What we're going to do tonight, we're just going to take a look at the new content, try it out, give our thoughts on the car, on the circuit. We might do some back-to-back testing with some other TCR cars as well. So here we go then. Let's jump into the car. So first things first, let's have a quick look around the cockpit as much as we can. Fairly standard looking dash, everything seems to be modelled okay. So there's a couple of cars going out on track, so let's go follow them out, get our eyes in around the circuit. So got a tight exit for pit lane there. Now the first impressions of the circuit, it looks very nice in terms of overall look. Now this is obviously TCR specification of car. Getting bullied already. So should drive fairly similar to the current WTCR class on RaceRoom. So really this is just a case of just trying to see what kind of handling characteristics this car has. I know that some of the TCR cars have their own individual little qualities to them. Some have a really good front end, others are a little bit tail happy. So we'll figure out what kind of a car this is when we start pushing on a little bit. So we're a clockwise circuit, I had to think about that for a moment. We're a clockwise circuit here at Vålerbanen. Now here we are, first corner is actually like a really quick little chicane up over those curves there. Swing round to the left here, and there's a longer right-hander, which is quite a quick corner, which we're not going full throttle around at the moment. It's got some friends behind us. And we come down to this kind of double right-hander here, so you get the first part done, little lift ready for the second one, and then on the power as we head down this middle straight. The track kind of curves off to the left here a little bit, so you've got to follow the line on the road, and then down to this left-right chicane almost. It's kind of an extended chicane, but it's quite quick. A bit of a downhill section. Another fast sweeping right-hander before a slightly slower right-hander for the final corner here. So it's got quite a nice flow and a rhythm to the circuit. Very typical Scandinavian looking trees on the inside there. So when you start pushing on, the circuit starts to get a little bit more exciting, especially this first corner here. That could be some chaos that happens around there, that's for sure. Probably not a downshift through there. So braking about 75 metres. The corner kind of dips away on the apex, that first of those two right-handers. Easy they can run off onto the left on the gravel and the grass on the outside there. Just got to keep it nice and balanced. I think I'm being attacked from behind again. I thought I saw a flash in my mirror, so I avoided them. Azaris, hello, welcome along. Challenge you to find any difference between this car and the Cupra. Okay. Challenge accepted. So far they sound fairly similar. Okay, let's try and push on a little bit further. Brake in a straight line over that first curb. Little dab of brakes. Just to settle the car into that right-hander. Just grabbed a little bit of curb on the inside there, helped pull this around the corner. So obviously this is front-wheel drive, just like the actual regular road car version of the Astra is. So if we do get in a bit of strife, we can always apply a healthy amount of throttle to pull us out of the difficulty. Oops, a bit too early turning in there. Trail braking all the way into that final corner just to help with the rotation. Go straight line, smash that first curb, smash the second one, straight back on the power. It's a fun section, that. Yeah, just a slight lift through there that time. It's difficult to get the car in there sometimes. It actually almost doesn't want to go in. So far we got the best of the AI cars that we have on track. Again, tricky corner that when you get the car in there, but it's easy to just push on onto the grass on the outside. Need to be more committed to a later turn in rather than trying to get the nose in there too early, otherwise we'll just be all over the place. So far, car feels pretty good levels of feedback. Sound is pretty similar to what you would expect one of the TCR cars to sound like in RaceRoom. But handling wise, it doesn't seem too I guess too unstable. It's quite a short wheelbase car, so you initially think that maybe it has a tendency to be rather twitchy. He says as he backs it into that fast right-hander. Obviously not pushing on hard enough, that's the thing. Let's try and go faster then. But in general, it feels pretty stable. You really can monster those curves. And again, braking too late into there. So at least the Renault was unique. This is just a pallet swap. It's not even any official class. Why do they make this? I'm not sure actually. I mean, unless it's they've got quite a few cars which they've taken from German classes. So, for example, they've got the GT Master series which they use, and then I assume it's because they're kind of adding cars which would normally run in, say, a VLN type class. I mean, they're all not in the same class on track. So you have a mixture of GT3 cars, TCR cars, and pretty much anything anyone wants to take there. So I'm assuming that might be why it's been added in. I mean, it's not in the TCR class. Oops. Haha, not paying attention. It's not in the WTCR class, obviously, because it doesn't feature in the WTCR series in real life, so it's not part of that. But because they're so good at making TCR cars, it's obviously there because just given a bit of variety, I suppose. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. That it's a bit of a body swap on another car on the same kind of a platform, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool looking car actually. It's quite nice. But yeah, we'll see how it stacks up with everything else a little bit later on as well, just to get some idea of just how good it might be. Right, let's try and concentrate, and this time we'll get the car stopped and not run off track. But yeah, I think adding this, it does add to the overall theme of German-inspired race cars, which they have got in the game at the moment. But also it's something else that just isn't featured elsewhere in the world of sim racing. Just keep adding cars with no rhyme or reason that no one asked for. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that, but I don't know. Did anyone ask for the hot cars, for example, in Automobilista 2, or did anyone ask for what else can I think of off the cuff? I don't know, it's just one of those things. I think I understand that certain cars which are released are down to licensing purposes, so they'll have pursued a license for maybe a particular series and they may not have gotten all the cars, but they're able to get a license for a particular brand or a particular model, which they then add as and when they get available. And I think some of these licensing cases can take quite a while to secure them, so if they held off for everything all at once, then we may never see them. But yeah, it's just one of those things. And I for one, I'm not too fussed about the way that they add cars to the sim. I mean, it all brings variety in one form or another. And hey, if you're not a Seat fan, maybe you are a Vauxhall or an Opel fan, so you can just choose to pick up this rather than the Cupra. This car adds something new. This adds nothing to what's already there. Yeah, and again, I can see that. I can see it better than I can see my braking point into there. But yeah, it's just another thing. I mean, we know that RaceRoom is particularly good with their TCR cars. They're probably some of the best, in my opinion, anyway. Front-wheel drive touring cars available out there. So I guess why not do more of a good thing, I suppose? If a car exists, that's what you do. I mean, iRacing, they bring GT3 cars in as and when they are either able to build them or have them available to license and use in the sim. So just adding another one to the repertoire of TCR cars which exist in real life, I suppose. I think if it was a case of this car never actually existed, but it's a hatchback and it kind of fits that mould and we'll add it in anyway, then yeah, I think there might be some issues. But as it's a real life race car which is in the same class, yeah, why not? But, anyway, what do I think about the circuit now? I think the circuit's really cool. It's got a nice flow to it, which is something I always look for in new circuits. And again, it's something else that's new. We haven't asked for Vålerbanen as a circuit, but it also goes along and complements some of the other Scandinavian circuits which appear in RaceRoom. But I enjoy something new all the time. I mean, if they're adding tracks which you could drive in something else, okay, it's great you'll be able to drive it in particular in RaceRoom, but sometimes it's nice to have something which is a little bit different. I know they got Brno coming as well, which again is another circuit I really like. It's just trying a different direction here. Okay, so let's try something here. Let's actually, before we do that, let's just go to the garage and just see a set of options. I'm sure there's plenty of things to mess around with in here. So, as usual, brake bias, brake pressure, all the usual suspension adjustments available. No TC, obviously, and fixed gear ratios as you would get with a WTCR spec car, and then just different preload available on there. Power and coast settings, shall I say, on the diff. So a little bit to adjust. So it's pretty cool. So what we're going to do then? Let's do a shootout then with some TCR cars. What we'll do is we've got a 56.8. We'll try and go for an absolutely stonking lap if we can, and just see what we can get out of this. The pit exit's a bit interesting. The MG GT4 adding something new. Yeah, that'd be good. GT4 class is quite popular on RaceRoom. We did a ranked race of GT4 around Hockenheim just before the weekend, which we've released on Saturday. That's quite a good video to watch. It's quite fun. Okay. So let's get ourselves in position to get a good run off this last corner. Let's go for one really quick lap on a 56.8 so far. Let's see what else we can do with it. Wild to the first section. We are up marginally on our quickest lap so far. No, that's that's too much of a cut. The car got a little bit sideways exiting there, which has obviously ruined our lap. So we'll try again. Put off by the car ahead. What we do then? We'll get rid of some of these other cars as well, and we'll try that without extra cars on track. Remove all those. Fine. Number of pounds we want. I think. So we'll do this, and then we'll put the Cupra straight up next to us, as RS wants me to find some some differences between them. We'll do that as a direct comparison next, and then we'll see how they stack up in terms of pace. Hi Patrick. How do I like the new car? I actually think it's quite cool. I quite like it. It's so far feeling pretty consistent with how the other TCR cars in RaceRoom feel. And at least for me, it's feeling like it's becoming a little bit more like I would expect a short wheelbase TCR car to feel. You start pushing on the back ends a little bit lively. I also really do like this new track, and I think we can probably get some decent racing on here. There's a few good opportunities to overtake, so into here is one of them. Get a good amount of speed to that second part there. This is the Nemesis corner. Very tricky. Okay. Let's see what we can do then. We've got a 56 to beat, so let's see if we can go any quicker. straight over those curbs. Okay, let's get the car stopped here a little bit early on the brakes. Too bad of a lap so far. Let's keep it nice and neat and tidy as we go. Open up the corner a little bit for the second part. Now, try not to cut too much into here, it's better. Right, what kind of time are we going to get on the board? 56.8. Okay, 56.823 is the one to beat, so let's go find ourselves a Cooper and do the same. So for this one we're going to have to go to WTCR 20 now. It'll be interesting to see whether this is going to make much of a difference in terms of tyres, because I'm not sure what tyres the Astra's running on. But I do know these are running on Goodyear tyres, so whether that might make a difference, we'll have to wait and see. Patrick, you just got the new car and the new track. Cool, good on you. Not tried them yet though, looking forward to it. Yeah, no, it's good. I think you'll probably like it. I think it's, yeah, I mean you can see here we've got the circuit here running the old WTCC spec cars. And I think they did come here actually back in the day, when WTCC was going through its little bit of a crisis few years, when grid started dropping. Okay, so this is the Cupra, this is not the Astra. Obviously we've got different dashboard in front of us, a slightly different sound with the DSG VAG gearbox sound thing, which is a weird sound. So we've driven a few laps with the Cupra in the past, so should be fairly familiar with how this thing goes. So 56.8 to beat. Let's see what we can do on this lap. Too bad so far. Okay, towards a fast left right. A bit more understeer on baseline setup with this car, the feel of things so far. Okay, up towards the line. What's the time going to be? 56.7, so it's about a tenth quicker with quite a scruffy lap. Now that could just be down to tyres. The Astra feels so far a little bit more wayward on the rear when you turn it in without trying to balance the thing on the brakes or the throttle. Whereas the Cooper, if you turn it in, has more of a tendency to understeer, I think. Let's try it through something a bit quicker. That's where the Astra really came unstuck. We'll do this next couple of sections here. This next corner where we really will notice the difference. See, I had to really coax it into doing that then, otherwise it was understeering a little bit. So I think the Astra is a little bit edgier in terms of how it drives on baseline setup. Obviously when you change that around it'll perhaps ease that out a little bit or make it a little bit more edgy. Oops, not Touring Classics, that's not where we're going. Let's do a race with it then. So let's get the Astra. We'll We're on a different livery this time. Let's go full work spec. I'm going to go see how Vålerbanen races, and what we'll do is we'll add the WTCR spec cars, and of course the Astra to the mix as well. Just drop that down so we don't go too mad. Right, apply that. Alright, so what have we got? 4s, make sure our settings are all okay before we do this. We don't need to do a 40-minute qualifying session, that's probably a little excessive. Let's do 12 minutes, 15-minute race. Let's do a 10-minute race 1, and we'll do a 10-minute race 2, but race 2 grid will be reverse race 1 result. Just for a bit of a laugh. Okay. Yeah, let's go and do that. See how we get on here. But yeah, I think the car's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty much on a par with what you expect with the TCR cars. Hi Nikos, welcome along to the stream. Good to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying seeing what we're doing with the new TCR spec car in RaceRoom. We're going to do a quick race event. We're going to do 2 races, 10-minute races in each, and then reversed second grid, and see how we get on driving this thing at the new circuit in Vålerbanen. So it's a noise. Yes, my microphone is not brilliant, I must admit. So there's a little bit of background noise. So we're working on getting something set up for some better sound quality. So hopefully we can get that coming to you guys soon. Okay. Practice. Oh, 60 minutes of practice. We don't need that. Let's end that session. Go straight into qualifying. So we'll take some fuel out. So we don't need 25 litres. We'll run with 11 litres and just go with that. Right. Let's go qualify and see where we can get on the grid. Oh, good. Glad you're enjoying it, Nikos. That's good. Good to hear. Is there anyone else coming out? Oh, yeah, there are. Okay. Just used to online ranked races where people go out straight away and you've got a huge gaggle of cars all trying to fight for position, whereas the AI are a little bit more civilized. They'll come out whenever they're ready. So we've got plenty of space in front of us, so there's no excuses for not getting a decent lap in here. Only my driving ability which is going to hinder us. So get it slowed down a little bit for that first section just to try and open up that corner. Right, let's go. Hopefully we don't get caught up with some traffic coming out of the pits, which it looks like we might do. Right. Yeah, definitely the car tried to oversteer going into there then. Behind one of the Lincoln Co's. Hopefully he can give us a nice tow down the straight, but not get in our ways in the corners. Definitely getting in our way. So that's going to be 57 for the paper just fell off my desk with all the vibrations going on. That's what happens when you hit those curbs so hard. So although we're a little bit quicker than the car ahead, proving quite tricky to get ourselves alongside. Do some run off there, maybe see if we can sneak up the inside of this last corner here. I know it's not racing right now, but oof. Just kind of stepped out from behind the car then, and back end was all over the place. Let's go side by side into the curbs. There we go. I've got some space. Caught the grass on the exit there of the first part of those right-handers, which caused us to be a little late turning in. Yeah, that's better through there, it's the line. Bit of a lock up into the last corner. I'm not expecting this one to be any quicker because we went side by side into turn one. Oh, it worked quicker. Oops. Let me downshift because I was going too quickly through that first chicane. Purple first sector. Now that we got ourselves some clear space, not much between the top three. None of the Astra straight ahead of us. Might well put us back to the top of the timesheets, which it does by 3/10 actually. It's probably meaning that the AI is a little bit too low. Okay, let's come out of this. Let's put the AI up a click. And we'll no, why not? We'll put it at 2 clicks. Try and make a bit more of a race of this rather than just being miles out in front. I want to see how the track races rather than just being a case of driving away from everyone. Yeah, but quite fun with a lot of cars on track though. You can see there's areas where the AI aren't maybe as quick as I was, but other areas where they're reasonably quick, so it kind of balances itself out a little bit. So we'll see how they are with a little bit more pace behind them. Interesting combo with DTM and GT3. Let's see how that goes. Right, let's try this again. Skip that session. Take fuel out and go again. On cold tyres, there's definitely an awful lot more wheel spin from the front end, which results, if you're turning the wheel, in some interesting moments. Excuse me. A lot more understeer when you have cold tyres. But once they heat up, you do get a good amount of grip. Right, let's try and see if we can set ourselves a good time and see where it stacks up with everyone else. Oh no. Stop it! Don't you know I'm on a hot lap and you're on an out lap? Sorry. you're going to come out in front of me, you may as well get on with it. Yeah, definitely that corner AI aren't quite happy with. Our way again now. Bit oversteering mid-corner then. Wow, that's quite a difference in time from how it was last time. 3/10 off the slowest person on track, just doing 2 clicks of adjustment in the AI strength. Where is this going to put us? P9. Okay, that's better. Again, see if we can shave some more time off. Get back on the power quite quickly through that first right-hander. Honda's just marginally quicker than me at the moment. Right, and it's booted in. Okay, we went quicker again then. Back up to P6. Right, let's bail out of that. Let's have a look at the spread of times on the monitor here. So, half a second off at the front at the moment. That's a big difference. Okay, well, it could be up for some fun. Let's jump to the race then. So this back there, we're going to be starting from. Sure, it says P5. That's probably not right. Anyway, next we are starting from P6. Okay, let's go. Let's do some racing and see how far up we can go. I haven't put the fuel in. Ooh. No, that wasn't the ideal start. Muscled out the first corner. What happens when you're on the outside? Okay, we survived the first few corners just about. Let's see if we can make some spaces back up again. Again, I'm getting a bit feisty on the curves. We're getting muscled out on the inside. Oh, we've got one in the gravel. There's no room. Lost all my grip there and going on the grass. It's on the spot. Got a dive bomb, but kept it off him. Maybe 2 clicks on the AI was perhaps a touch too much. Got a roadblock at the moment. Yeah, definitely. Quicker through there. Oops, bit sideways going in. Late move. Bit of a door bang going into there. There is in. Let's pick up another one here. He's been waylaid. Get him inside. Still on the inside. There he is. Getting a bit bullied here. Couldn't see exactly where I was going because of that car ahead of us then, so we ended up turning in way too early. Go for the dive bomb there. Way too far back. Got 5 minutes left and not much fuel. But the purpose of this is really just to see if this circuit is raceable. And obviously we're on with the AI and a bit different if you're racing online with other people, but Thiago's got a good run on me there, keeping behind. But if you are only an offline player and you like racing against the AI, you can have a decent scrap with them around here by the looks of things. They'll make some mistakes and open some doors for you. Bunching back together up in front. Ooh, that's a big sideways moment for the Hyundai. We'll have that. Thiago's trying to get up the inside of me as well. In general, the RaceRoom AI, I know they have their little moments, but they do make it quite interesting. They do a good job of making a race of it. Going to be out of fuel any moment now. So sometimes he goes in there really hot and he gets the car sideways, but other times he's perfectly fine. It's quite good actually. It means there's an element of mistakes going on. That's scruffy going through that. There's less than 2 litres to go in my tank. Not enough for another 3 minutes of racing. course, I didn't plan this, obviously, but as we're a reverse grid for race 2, if I don't finish this one, I guess that means we're getting a front row start, so we have to see how many we can hold back in race 2. It's quite a full-on circuit, so you never really get too much of a chance to relax, because there's corner after corner, and the straights aren't that long. Oh, we started coughing on the old lack of fuel. Yeah. Right, we'll do the decent thing and pull off on this side. Okay, let's retire from the race. Shame. Alright, continue to results. Yes, we know we didn't do particularly well on that one. Race 2. Let's put a bit more fuel in this time. That should be enough. Okay. Oh, we're just starting from the back then. Yes, we are. Brilliant. Well, let's try and make some progress then, shall we? That's a better start that time round. A bit more clutch slip going on. Well, I guess we can't all make it through turn 1 safely. Got some catching up to do. Let's try and latch on the back of this Renault. P21 all of a sudden. There's that lively rear end going round again. Need to balance it on the brake or the throttle into there. Still need to figure out which way round that needs to be. Probably a dab on left front brake just to settle the car, I think. We're getting dropped by the car ahead, but we are reeling in everyone else because they're all busy battling, so there's still a chance and there's still time in the race to try and make some more places up. So let's see. Just catch the overseer going into there. Straight line braking, down a gear. Trying to go as smoothly as I can, but still not making any inroads on the car ahead until, of course, it catches up with the rest of the pack. Got a cut on the inside, but we're okay. Gap's reducing, 1.8 ahead. Yeah, you don't get much of a rest, that's for sure. Room to breathe. Okay, we're a little bit more in touch with them now. It's good through there because it very much challenges you to balance the car, because there's a very quick weight transition going through that section, so you can't shock the car too much. You've got to let it know what's going to happen next. If you don't, then you'll be dealing with some oversteer. Okay, almost with them again. Okay. Now let's see if we can pick up some pieces. See, the car had this little dab of brakes just before going into the right-hander there. Make use of our corner where we're a bit quicker. Might be able to sneak a dive bomb into the last corner again. Didn't touch. Didn't touch him. Didn't get the position either though. Move going up in front there with the Cupra. Do have an interesting line to that first section that seem to miss the apex entirely, which is where we gain some time on them. Big run through there. We could do too much with it, but they take quite a defensive line into there. They kind of break into the corner and stop you from getting a car up the inside. Lost a big amount of time to them there as well. Right, here we go. Thought with them getting side by side up in front, we might have a chance of getting spots. There's just no room. It's tough racing around here with, by the track standards, quite large touring cars. It might be better suited to some smaller cars, because it is quite narrow, but there are opportunities. Just not quite quick enough to make the most of our speed where we need it. So that's so much quicker out of there than I am. It gives us very little chance of getting up on the inside here where we are quicker. but the car itself is capable of keeping up with these other WTCR spec cars, which you would expect from a single, well, not a single rate, but a similar type of car specification. They're all built with the idea of being closely matched. They're closely matched, they certainly are at the moment. Very much a deadlock going on. We just don't get the launch off that corner whatsoever. Oh, we've been caught up by some more cars. Missed the apex, let's go for a move. There we go, got one. Right. Come on, Phil. Keep it on the tarmac. Curbs are quite big around here as well, actually, really. Unsettle the car quite a bit by smashing some of these curbs. Hit the brakes on the exit. Go on. Let's see if we can have another position by the end of this one. Last corner. No, it's parked up on the inside. Race to the line. Who's gonna get it? Well, that was pretty fun. I mean, I know we didn't make many moves, but yeah, you can race here. You know, Dr. Frederick. Yeah, it is hard to overtake when you're in similar times like we are here, but yeah, it's. If you definitely have a really big pace advantage, you can get past reasonably easy, I think. But yeah, it's quite a tight little circuit. It's very narrow, but good fun. Enjoyed driving that. Let's take a quick look at the circuit. We're just going to load the replay up here. We're gonna go for a tour of the circuit, because from what I've seen of it so far, this circuit looks quite nicely textured and nicely detailed. So let's go see what we can see in and around the circuit. We've seen the lap itself, we've seen the corners, but let's go and take a closer look at it without flying through it in a Vauxhall Astra, or an Opel Astra, should I say. We'll go and explore some of the pit buildings as well and see if we can get an idea of what this track is like in all angles. So, looking forward to this as well. New particle effects and new force feedback, which is coming in very soon. So that's going to be interesting to see how that feels. And you know, already the TCR cars feel pretty good, and in general, we managed to get the force feedback settings to be quite a good feel to them. So it'll be interesting to see what they've done on the back end side of things to try and improve that. Okay, so we'll leave our car on the grid. Now we need the next. Hang on, let's get the right camera here. No. Right, there we go. Right, our grid of TCR cars here. So we didn't actually do a pit in. So where's the pit entrance here? It's back here. So that's reasonably tight. Little chicane at the end there. What's this over here? They've got another circuit, they've got a kart track over here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Right. We need this. RaceRoom guys, if you're watching, we need this for NSUs. Let's take a lap of the kart track. Okay. There's the start finish line going to be. There's pit out and pit entrance. So we'll assume it's the same direction as the real circuit. So let's take a lap of the kart track here. So we go. We've got left, right chicane there. Bit of grass on the inside. Let's do more of a kart line here, get right down low. Flat out right-hander into what looks like a tight right. Then we're going to sweep around into a series of hairpins here. So, and another hairpin doubling back the other direction. This is actually sort of similar-ish to PF International. Similar kind of vibe to it. And up towards the final hairpin here. Keep that wide, cut in. This lap of the kart track, which isn't raceable on RaceRoom, but that could be a lot of fun in some cases. Could do with that. Steve, hello. What would you rather have, iRacing or RaceRoom? Don't make me choose. Okay, so I cannot fault the iRacing competition model where you have structured racing. However, with RaceRoom you do get the ranked races, which are similar, but obviously not to the same variety as you would get with iRacing. But I think at the moment I'm preferring RaceRoom to iRacing, but that's not to say that iRacing is rubbish, because it has its strengths and weaknesses, and it is still very much worthy of being in any sim racer's repertoire, and obviously you've got to try it at some point, but I prefer RaceRoom currently. That's what I'm going to say. But I do really like what they've been doing with RaceRoom recently. There's some good developments coming in. So here we go, here's our pit lane, our highly advanced pit lane. So we've got our fuel rigs up and our metal barriers to keep the spectators away from everything. So yeah. Nice and safe. We've got some garages down here, only 4, because it's only a small circuit, but it's pretty cool. Got a nice gallery view from the top. What's the view like from up here? What are you seeing? Not too bad. You can see a good view of the front straight and all the way down the first corner there. Not too bad at all. Some buildings down here. What we've got here? This is a cafeteria by the looks of things. Very nice. Some kind of workshop, that could be scrutineering bay perhaps. Just taking a virtual tour of Vålerbanen, by the way, if you've just joined us and wondering why we're flying around all these wonderful 3D characters. It's a bit suspicious. Right, let's find out what else we got. So a little tent there, maybe some kind of, yeah, nothing going on in there at the moment, but yeah, a bit of corporate hospitality maybe for our Opel team. Portaloos, excellent. What's this? Oh, I can read. Ooh, it says go-kart, so it must mean the VIP as well. Where do they go? Big workshops there. A few doors to get some cars into. Lots more paddock space over here. It goes on forever. Back end of the kart track. What else we got down here? Rubbish skips. What's this? Hotel cafeteria. Oh, that's cool. Got a hotel on site. Very nice. RaceRoom flag proudly flying outside the hotel. Some ghost people from somewhere. Right. Anyway, let's go back over this way. We've got some information boards here. Okay. See, this is the thing. You see, you don't get to see stuff like this when you just load a track and you go out for a race. You don't get to see all the ins and outs and where things go. Information board there for spectators. The marshals. Wouldn't fancy trying to get around that in that truck. That big concrete barrier. Right, what's this? Another building. What's this say on there? Can't quite make out if that's a T or an F. Some kind of centre anyway. Maybe this is where the VIPs go. Oops, back up. Another cafeteria, because can't have too many cafeterias. Yeah, so this is the car, house, walking and football zone, according to that sign. What? Questionable sign. Alright, okay. I guess that means no going past this area here. Some nice red and white tape to stop people from going out on track. Okay, so that's the paddock area. Let's cross over to the inside here. There's an arrow to tell us to go that way. Marshall's busy watching where the next TCR car is going to come flying at him from, which is turn 1. Ooh, little pond on the inside. If you fancy taking a dip after the race. What else we got? Marshall's huts. So there's another layout by the looks of things. I don't know if it's like an old layout, but it kind of cuts away. There's more tarmac on the inside here as well. Let's go a bit higher up and see what we're looking at. This might be, actually looking at it, it could be some kind of driving instruction tests sort of place. You got, could be like a skid pan type thing actually, couldn't it? There's a little roundabout in the middle here. See what else we can see. This is down to that tricky right hand complex. This is an old school track. Obviously you've got some of the modern ones which have tarmac runoff areas, but none of that here really. This is all grass and gravel. There's another load of tarmac over here. What's all this? Another circuit? So it looks like there's a long version of it. So this is going to... oh wow, that's going to make a huge difference to the length of the lap. Where does this join in then? So this is our main track over here. Another load of grid spots, presumably for motorcycle racing, by the way that's laid out. Someone's in some celebratory donuts. Okay, so you would come round a fast left-hander there, and then you would peel off around there, and all the way down the far end, and then a big long straight all the way up to this quick chicane here, which could be quite fun. What's over here? There's just so much to explore. This tree shady area there, another roundabout, perfect for some more driving instruction. Then we're out at the back end of the circuit. Oh, here we go. Traffic lights as well. Yeah, that's got to be for like learning to drive, surely. Marshals can't be that organised, would you think? And so there we go. So that's the far end of the circuit as we were. So quite a lot going on around the perimeter of the circuit. There's another little chicane there as well, which could be quite interesting, coming off the last corner, and then a quick right, left, right chicane. So there's a couple of other layouts which could potentially be in the sim, which I think might be quite fun. But obviously we don't have anything in the way of karting on RaceRoom, so the kart circuit would only really be suitable for really small cars like the NSU, or maybe the Formula Junior. But you wouldn't be racing on it; it'd just be a test track. But there we go. So that's the Vålerbanen circuits on RaceRoom, and of course the WTCR cars, and somewhere along here is our little Astra. Ours. There's another one there. Which one was ours? This one was ours. No, it wasn't. This one was ours. So many Astras. So there we go. So that's our kind of first test and first try of the Astra and the Vålerbanen circuit. Verdict then. So the car itself sits in nicely with the rest of the WTCR cars. Drives very nicely. Sounds, you know, like you would expect a four-cylinder touring car to sound. Handling wise, pretty solid. It's not very understeering on baseline setting anyway. It's not particularly understeering, but can have a tendency to snap on oversteer going through quick corners if you're not balancing throttle or brake trying to turn in. But in general it's pretty good. It's stable over the curbs, which I guess is partly, if it's been built for use on the Nordschleife, then that might be part of the menu for building it, because the curbs around there are just monstrous. So yeah, that could be a reason why. But yeah, the car itself, nice to drive, nicely modelled, as you can see. It's, you know, big splitter on the front. Looks pretty aggressive. I quite like the styling of it. It's quite nice. But then all the TCR cars look pretty cool with their big wings and wide arches, etc. But yeah, so I think the car's good. Track, again, very nice, good flow, good layout. Perhaps a little bit narrow for racing some of the larger cars, but for smaller cars definitely could be on for some good racing. But you know, that's against the AI that we've tried now. So if you're driving against other people online, there's definitely a lot more room for error and general raciness, I suppose. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that drives online. I'm sure they'll introduce it in the ranked servers probably in the next schedule, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, big thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool. I hope you enjoyed checking out the new car and the new track with me. If you have, please do hit the thumbs up and like the stream. And also comment below as well in the comments which car in the TCR class is your favourite. So we'll all have our own individual preferences on what car we like to drive and which one we think looks best, etc. Let us know in the comments below which one you like as well. And if you've tried the Astra, let us know your thoughts, and it'll be interesting to see what you think of it too. Yeah, so there we go. That's the Astra TCR on RaceRoom and the Vålerbanen circuit. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you very soon. We'll try and get another video out in the coming week if we can, but if not, we will be back for more streaming action. As I look at the tarmac there, very nicely textured as well. We'll be back for some more streaming action next Saturday, but until then, we will see you next time.